We move on to the next session. Coming up is looking inward, meditating to survive a changing world. How absolutely important is this? This has been brought to you at Arth, a culture fest by Macho Hind, Fashion Bara Aram Se. The main speaker for this session is Swami Purnachaitanya, who's an author, Dutch life coach, and public speaker. His home country is the Netherlands, where he completed his degree in Indology with a specialization in Sanskrit from Leiden University. Excuse me. He's closely associated with the Art of Living Foundation in Bangalore. He's the director of programs for the organization and is currently also looking after projects at Art of Living Africa. He's currently involved with the various rural development and educational projects launched by the foundation in the northeastern region of India. In addition to this, he's a senior teacher trainer with the Sri Sri School of Yoga. He has addressed various educational, corporate and government institutions and conducted special workshops and master classes for leading companies such as Microsoft and Berkeley's. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Swami Purnachaitanya talking about looking inwards, meditating to survive a changing world, only at Earth Culture Fest, brought to you by Macho Hind, Fashion Bara Aram Se. Thank you, Swamiji. In conversation with Swamiji would be Kushal Mehra. Kushal Mehra is a textile entrepreneur from Mumbai and the host of the Charvaka podcast. It's very interesting, I've heard it myself. It's a series of long-form conversations and covers a wide range of subjects where Kushal speaks with maestros from different arenas, including sports, philosophy, public policy, current affairs, history, economics, and many other issues. Ladies and gentlemen, in conversation with Swami Purnachaitanya, Kushal Mehra. Thank you very much.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
So, Swamiji, today we are going to be talking about looking inwards, but I was thinking maybe before we start looking inwards, let's talk about something that comes maybe a step before we look inwards. So, obviously, I had the pleasure of reading your book and I congratulate you on the same.
Thank you, Kushal.
So, in your book, there was a portion where you talk about your background in martial arts.
Correct.
And also how you talk about yoga. So maybe we can start there. So if we are talking about meditation and looking inward, so how much of a role does the physical aspect of our body or the physical attributes and physical activities have to play?
Well, Kushal, I think, जैसे सबको तो पता ही है, if you're not comfortable, like even we are sitting here, but say you have a back pain or your knees are hurting, कहीं तो शरीर में कुछ problem है तो क्या होता है? You will not be able to be comfortable, you will not be able to really enjoy or really relax. So when we talk about yoga, it's an integral part of, I would say, any spiritual practice. Rather, actually, meditation is a part of yoga. If we see the yoga scriptures, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, जो main शास्त्र है योग शास्त्र के, तो उसमें क्या बोलते हैं कि आसन से शुरू करते हैं. Why? Because if your body is not comfortable, then even if you want to meditate or if you want to really contemplate, if you want to study a scripture or even if you want to serve, you will not be able to do so effectively. So it's a holistic approach. And even though nowadays yoga is often just associated with the physical postures, it actually included all of these things. So I would say yoga is an integral part of meditation. Meditation is an integral part of yoga. But here we're not talking about, putting your leg behind your head or, nowadays we see most people, the most successful yoga teachers in the worldly sense, where they may make a lot of money or have a very big audience, are often people who are physically very fit, who look like an ideal for many to strive for, but at the same time, something that is out of reach, where you need to have a six-pack or look really good in a bikini or whatever. While traditionally, yoga, even the asanas, the physical postures, was all about being comfortable in your body. So yes, some exercise is required so that you can sit without having aches and pains, that you are flexible and fit enough to do what you need to do. But beyond that, all the extra acrobatics are not necessary if you want to be comfortable, peaceful, or enlightened.
That's interesting. So another thing, maybe I wanted to touch upon this aspect. Nowadays, when we have when we talk about meditation or we talk about looking inwards or even for yoga that for that matter, what I've noticed is that obviously these practices have been globalized now. It's
Correct.
no longer a localized practice that is, in certain parts of India. It has gone global. But with the globalization of meditation and various practices, has come this, you see this, I don't know which word would be the right word, but there is this inclination to maybe not attribute the source or sometimes not recognize the roots. Now, something that I found very interesting when I was looking at your work overall was that you raise this point time and again. You say it's very important to attribute the source. So I'll give you, let's say, the Waking Up app. Sam Harris, a world-renowned neuroscientist, philosopher. So Sam Harris has a Waking Up app, and Waking Up app is about mindfulness in a quote-unquote secular way. So what do you think we may lose out on if we don't look back at the roots?
Well, Kushal, one of the most important things I think is that even though meditation and yoga, like you said, all these practices are definitely beneficial for everybody across the world. And we see that. People are benefiting. It is compatible with any lifestyle, any religion. That way it doesn't limit itself. But at the same time, I feel, should not forget where it has come from, because even though we can say it was invented in India and it's for everybody, but then because it came up in this culture, there are certain aspects which have a cultural flavor, you can say. It is part of the traditions. And if you want to strap it from all those things, if you say, okay, we just want to say you want to do meditation, but we don't want to say Om, or we don't want to sit in a certain posture, or wear a certain type of clothes, or recognize a certain tradition where it has come from, then sometimes, rather many times, what happens is you miss out on some very valuable and important aspects, to the extent that sometimes nowadays, if we talk about apps, there are apps that say you can meditate in 2 minutes, and you just hear some nature sounds or some sound of the sea, and people feel relaxed, no doubt, maybe, but it's not meditation. And then if someone says, okay, I meditated, but he may not be getting all these benefits that meditation has to offer. And if we talk about honoring the tradition, you can secularize it all you want, but if we look at something like meditation which deals with the mind, where you say, I want to relax, Man ko pura shant karna, to kaise kare? Someone sits, you have so many thoughts, getting bombarded, so many craving, aversion, desires, and just trying to get that mind to settle itself takes so much time. And many people are struggling with this, let's be honest, even with mindfulness. But the beauty is, if you have a lot of reverence, if you have a lot of respect, then whether it is for the teacher, for the tradition, for your practice, what happens is, if you look at it, honoring or respecting is nothing but a state of mind where your mind is fully present in that moment with, we can say, a tinge of gratitude or a tinge of love. That is respect. Someone has a newspaper, you pick it up, you put it somewhere. Yaad bhi nahi ki kahan rakha. But if you have something that's very dear to you, maybe a diary that was of your grandparents, or a scripture like a Bhagavad Gita or a Bible or whatever, when you pick it up, your full attention is there. So your mind is fully there. So if someone wants to meditate and you have a respect for your tradition or for your teacher or for the practice itself, what happens? You sit with that sense of honor and respect. Already your mind is fully there. So half your job is done. And they knew this. That's why in the scriptures, they always say that, you honor the practice, honor the teacher, learn this from a teacher. To inculcate this, because it is an invaluable aspect if you want to be really effective. And many times nowadays, we miss out on that. And it's a shame, because people miss out on some of the benefits.
Swami ji, आपने अभी एक शब्द कहे थे, I want to relax. So, अभी सारी गड़बड़ यहीं से शुरू होती है कि ये I क्या है? And जब हम meditate करते हैं, जब हम ध्यान करते हैं, तो ये I वाला प्रश्न बड़ा, so समझिए, अगर मैंने डेविड चॉल्मर्स को पढ़ा, डेविड चॉल्मर्स कहते हैं कि मैं नेचुरलिस्टिक डुअलिज्म में विश्वास करता हूँ. फिर डैन डेनेट के पास जाएंगे तो वो कहते हैं मैं मटीरियलिस्ट हूँ. फिर हम अगर भारतीय परंपराओं में जाएंगे तो आदिशंकर का इस मैं कौन हूँ का उत्तर कुछ और था. फिर विशिष्ट अद्वैत में कुछ और था, बुद्ध ने कुछ और कहा, भगवान महावीर ने कुछ और कहा. तो ये मेडिटेशन से ध्यान से ये आई वाला जो प्रश्न है ये कैसे सॉल्व होगा?
इस प्रश्न का गड़बड़ यह है कि उसका जो उत्तर है सच में मिलना चाहते हैं तो ये भी रिस्क है कि वो आई से परे जाएंगे क्योंकि ऐसे कुछ प्रश्न है ये लॉजिक का एक सीमा होता है. नो इफ वी सी तर्क, नो if we go by न्याय दर्शन for example, logic has a limitation because certain questions, like if you ask someone are you sleeping, if they say yes, सच तो नहीं है, because if they're sleeping they will not answer. If they say no, तो भी गड़बड़. तो सही जवाब उत्तर क्या होता है? कुछ नहीं शायद, मतलब सच में सो रहे हैं तो वो कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे और वही उत्तर होगा और वही सच होगा. दूसरा कोई भी उत्तर सच नहीं होगा. In the same way, if we want to say, okay, what is, for example, real meditation? Meditation is going beyond the mind, beyond the intellect, which means you cannot understand it. You can experience it, just like we can say that you can experience sleep. But how do you experience sleep? After you wake up, you realize, oh, there was a vacuum. थोड़ा देर मेरा कोई भी कुछ भी होश नहीं था, ये भी होश नहीं कि मैं कहाँ हूँ, कौन हूँ, कुछ नहीं था. लेकिन बाद में जब जाग जाता है, याद है कि हाँ पहले मैं था, अभी भी मैं हूँ, and there is some continuation, which means कहीं ना कहीं वो था, लेकिन होश नहीं था. In the same way, if we look at meditation, real meditation, not like I said 2 minutes of nature sounds, but real meditation is about transcending the mind. And that is where meditation also differs from mindfulness, because mindfulness means you are mindful, you are there fully. And in many ways that is beneficial from being scattered all over the place. But meditation is going one step further, where you go beyond that state of awareness that, okay, I am, and you may be aware of so many things. When you go beyond that, that is where a very deep state of rest happens. And that is also where you get in touch with that part of you which is actually unaffected by all your experiences. And I think in today's challenging world, many people are struggling to deal with all the changes, all the challenges, all the, the disturbing things that we come across. So to get a relief from that, sometimes that 7, 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep is not enough. You need a deeper rest. And meditation can give you that.
So आपने ये 2 मिनट की मेडिटेशन, you made a valid point. So आजकल जैसे ये गैजेट है हमारा, ये हमारा
खतरनाक है.
हाँ, ये हमारा दुश्मन है, दोस्त है, सब कुछ है.
हाँ.
तो आजकल क्या हो रहा है कि जैसे कल भी एक पैनल पे मैंने यही प्रश्न पूछा था कि लोग आजकल पुस्तक भी नहीं पढ़ पाते. They don't even want to read a book because attention spans are reducing on a daily basis. Like they keep on reducing. Your attention spans are just not there. I mean, I host a podcast, but podcasts take too long. So somebody was like, why don't you cut those videos and make them short? Then if I cut those videos and make them short, it's like, why don't you make it of the TikTok length?
Correct.
So, it reminds me of a very famous joke by a great comic, George Carlin, who said, what happened to those days where we would just walk on the garden, pick a stick, put it in our hands, and do nothing? So my question to you is, in this day and age where we are overburdened with information, how does one go and tell someone that looking inwards and meditation will actually help you? So how would you, so if you were to pitch this to them, the young generation that is literally addicted to this gadget, whether it's in the form of television set or a tablet or anything else, so how do we get over that?
Kushal, actually my experience has been that because especially the younger generations have access to all these media at their fingertips, like even for you and me, maybe, okay, you used to watch TV, but you have to wait for that show to come on, or you have to hope for that movie to be shown, or some documentary to cover this or that. Now it's very easy. You go online or you go into Netflix, search karke mil jayega, or abhi mil jayega, streaming mein hai to. But because of that also you see that even at the age of 16, 17, 18, people have experienced so much more than earlier generations may have ever experienced in a lifetime. बहुत सारे लोग थे कभी गांव से भी नहीं निकले या वो शहर से बाहर नहीं निकले, 1-2 बार गए होंगे कहीं आसपास, but their world of experience was very limited. Now in 5 minutes you can get the whole world news. If anything you want to know, you can see it sometimes even in 3D. So we see that even at a young age, personally for me, I have many people who come to me actually with very profound questions, like when we talk about philosophy. on Instagram, I get so many questions. And it's not about so much how do I deal with my girlfriend or the breakup or wo bhi hota. But I have literally teenagers or people in their early 20s who ask me that, I have already experienced all these things, but what is the purpose? Ye to, like, people used to happily have the same job all their life. Now people are saying, ये ऐसे थोड़ी करेंगे पूरा जीवन हाँ थोड़ा देर के लिए ठीक है फिर उसके बाद क्या no now what do I want to experience they have seen experienced so much but there must be something more and that is where I think that a kind of maturity kicks in much earlier where people actually ask me चलो ये तो सब हो गया you go to the movies you feel nice for a moment कहीं अच्छा खाना खाया अच्छा लगा लेकिन फिर उसके बाद फिर से मन खराब हो गया या कुछ तो हो गया तो how can we get that real happiness that lasting peace तो I would turn it around and say it's much more common, I would say, for the younger generation now, because they get so overexposed that they realize, oh, there must be something more, or this is not lasting. There must be something which is more profound, or which can give me a real sense of peace, or joy, or happiness. So I would sell it like that. कि देखो भाई, ये अच्छा लगा, लेकिन कितना देर तक अच्छा लगेगा? दबा के खाना खाया, ठीक है, 5-10 मिनट ठीक लगते, उसके बाद फिर चला गया ना एंड मे बी समटाइम्स ठीक है वो खाना अच्छा लगा फिर से जाएंगे 2-3 दिन बाद 1 हफ्ते बाद 2 हफ्ते बाद बट इट डजंट गिव यू द सेम काइंड ऑफ जॉय या हो सकता बैठे है टेस्ट तो अच्छा था फिर फोन आया आपका कोई दोस्त हॉस्पिटल में चला गया कुछ तो हुआ फिर कहाँ इसका आनंद ले पाएंगे सो पीपल आर रियलाइजिंग आई थिंक नाउ विद द लॉकडाउन ऑल्सो सो मेनी पीपल गॉट अ वेक अप कॉल कि यार मेरा घर तो ठीक है दोस्त भी अच्छे हैं अच्छा परिवार है सब कुछ है फिर भी नींद नहीं आता है क्योंकि इतना टेंशन होता है इतना स्ट्रेस होता है या इतना अनसर्टेनिटी है एंग्जाइटी है सो पीपल आर रियलाइजिंग दैट इवन इफ ऑल दोज थिंग्स आर ओके इट कैन चेंज एनी टाइम एंड व्हेन इट डज इट शेक्स यू बिकॉज समवेयर वी हैव स्टार्टेड relying on those things for our sense of security, our sense of stability. If suddenly your job goes, it shakes you. If suddenly you cannot see your friends or meet your family, it shakes you. And when it gets shaken enough, then people say, अरे लेकिन you need a support someone, no? तो कहाँ जाएंगे? अभी वो शांति कैसे वापस मिलेगा? And then we have an answer.
So if I was to understand you correctly, so what you're saying is that we live in this world of instant gratification, right? That's the word.
And change.
And change. Now, if instant gratification, to use the French word raison d'être, of this current generation, in a very weird way, then selling meditation to them, which is the complete opposite of instant gratification, wouldn't it be very tough then?
Well, I don't know because I'm not really a salesperson.
I know,
in the sense, but if I see
I'm looking at the concept at a meme level.
No, definitely. But if we see the very fact that there are so many companies now who are banking on this interest, like it's a huge business now. And if people are not interested in meditation, they were not going to invest. They were not going to make so many apps or modules or courses or programs or whatever it is. So if we see the huge increase in an interest of people to learn about meditation, just like we've seen with yoga, it definitely means that people they want to know, they're realizing that, oh, there is something like this. And one of the reasons of me writing the book was that at least to give these people some guidance to go in the right direction.
All right. So, Swamiji, while I was reading your book, I came across a beautiful story of the Buddha and the businessman or the Vyapari. So the story was, I'm paraphrasing it because it's quite long, that, the Vyapari, the people who would work for him would constantly go for the Vyakhyan of Buddha. And, one fine day he got very angry and then he goes and if I remember correctly, he spat at the Buddha.
Yes.
And while everybody who was around the Buddha was shocked at the behavior, but the Buddha just smiled at him and did not say anything. And the Vyapari went back and he was very disturbed. He was very disturbed that what have I done? And he did not even react. And the next day he comes back and apologizes to Bhagavan Sri Buddha. And he says, but apologize for what? You didn't do anything. But no, I'm the guy who spat on you yesterday. He's like, people keep changing. Now I want to connect this to something that happens in our culture today. We live in interesting times, is to say the least.
Tell me about it.
We live in the day where if I wrote something, like Kushal, who is 41 years old is not the same Kushal who was 30 or 31 or 32. But we live in this absurd world of cancel culture where somebody will pick out something I wrote in 2010 and they will take a screenshot and show it to me. Here, this is what you said. You're cancelled. And there is no prayashchit, or there is no redemption or forgiveness. So how can we, through meditation and looking inwards, help the world and maybe give people the benefit of the doubt?
I think if we look at ourselves, many of us have not learned how to manage our mind, how to deal with our thoughts. And that is also what troubles us. That's why people cannot sleep at night. Things may have happened 1 week ago or 10 years ago, and it can still trouble us. It can still bother us or make us feel anxious or scared or uneasy or angry. And this is because we have never learned how to let go of experiences, of emotions. We give a lot of importance to these fleeting events. And by doing so, the impression becomes stronger. One small example is when you have a dream, it can be a very unpleasant dream. But after you wake up, within few moments, when you realize, oh, it was a dream, you forget about it. And later in the day, most of us don't remember what we dreamt. Few weeks later, definitely we don't. And it doesn't bother you, it doesn't trouble you. If, for example, I dream about you and you slap me in the face, and I think, oh, it was just a dream. Even if no offense, if I meet you later on in real life, I'm not going to hold that against you because I know it was a dream. I'm not giving it any importance. I may even say, hey, Kushal, pata hai, I had such a funny dream. You slapped me in the face. So you can even laugh about it. But in real life, even if someone doesn't look at you in the right way, sometimes we really take it to heart. Log pareshan ho jata, office mein, ghar mein, kahin bhi. So the only difference there is we give it a lot of importance. And meditation can allow us to teach the mind to let go. It grasps very effortlessly. We remember so many things that are utterly useless. We don't want to remember it. Ho jata apne aap. But how to drop things. And we need to learn this. Cancel culture, I think, is nothing but a reflection of this inability to drop the past and be free. And this is everybody's birthright.
So I guess that would be, because somebody in the audience has also had asked this question, how do we, build a healthy mind and a healthy body? So I guess this, in a way, answers that too, right? That for a healthy mind and a healthy body, we have to learn to let go. But then maybe, one last word from you. It sounds easy, but it isn't, right?
Yes and no. It is very easy when you have the right guidance. We make things complicated. Actually, life is very easy. But yes, you need the right guidance because otherwise it's a jungle out there. You Google meditation, so many things will pop up. Half the stuff may be something completely different. But to learn how to let go, how to relax, how to manage your mind, how to get rid of your stress, it's not so difficult. And I would like to invite everybody to explore this. It doesn't mean you have to run away from home, dress like this, go to the Himalayas. No, even 15, 20 minutes a day, maybe morning, evening, just how you take a bath. I mean, I hope people do. Brush your teeth twice a day, once a day. This will help you to get a different quality of life where normally we are so busy all day running around trying to get that happiness and peace that we're looking for. But we always think it's in the future. And this is a shortcut. Because like I said, if your mind is disturbed, you can have everything, but you will not be able to enjoy it. And when your mind is happy, even if you're just sitting with a stick in the park or in your garden, you'll be a very happy person.
So it's very interesting, So I guess this is a perfect way, maybe we can, end today's discussion where, you said happiness. So I guess we are all in our own ways in the pursuit of happiness.
Correct.
And in this pursuit of happiness, we experiment on a daily basis with different tools. So, sometimes maybe somebody like your own self, somebody experiments with martial arts, somebody experiments with yogasanas. So I guess in this armory or in this toolkit of different intuition pumps, as Dan Dennett would like to say, I guess meditation would be one of those toolkits. And all I can say is that, I try to whenever I can. I'm definitely going to listen to you and try to be more attentive next time when I try to understand. And I hope everybody else does too. So Swamiji, once again, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Kushal. And maybe as a final addition to, like you said, like everybody, we have been conditioned to live life as a pursuit of happiness, thinking that we have to work for it, and hopefully one day we reach. And it is my personal experience that this ancient knowledge of meditation, of yoga, अपना जो पुराना संस्कृति है, इस सुंदर देश का, it can transform your life so that you may start living life as an expression of happiness. Where instead of finding happiness in the future, doing all those things, hoping to become happy one day, you can do all those same things, but you can do it happily. And that makes all the difference.
So 75वें आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव का एक लक्ष्य ये भी होना चाहिए कि हमें खुश होना चाहिए. So I think, I hope everybody pays attention to how to meditate, how to pay attention to these things, and maybe आज के इस माहौल में जब हम एक ऐसा जीवन जीते हैं जहाँ पे कभी हमारा स्मार्टफोन हमारा दुश्मन हो जाता है, कभी टेलीविज़न सेट हमारा दुश्मन हो जाता है, कभी हमारा बॉस हमारा दुश्मन हो जाता है. सो मैं आशा करता हूँ कि हर इंसान इन चीज़ों के ऊपर ध्यान दे, हर इंसान इन चीज़ों के ऊपर सोचे. और कई बार सोचते सोचते जैसे स्वामी जी ने कहा है कि आखिरी लक्ष्य ये होना चाहिए कि वो सोचना ही बंद हो जाए. और जब हम वो ना सोचने के लक्ष्य पे आ गए तो शायद हमने उस आनंद की प्राप्ति कर ली. सो आई गेस वी कैन रैप टुडेज सेशन अप ऑन दिस नोट. वंस अगेन थैंक्स टू एवरीबॉडी एंड थैंक्स अ लॉट स्वामी जी फॉर कमिंग एंड एनलाइटनिंग अस.
Thank you so much, Kushal.